how do you build that muscle? How do you get that sense of, I know what my artistic vision is, and being able to execute it even with feedback?
I mean, a lot of it's experience. You got to let yourself try stuff and let it fail, and then let it, you got to try stuff and then be like, well, that was a hot mess. And then, but here's what I learned from it and what I want to do next time, and then do it. Right. And then, so experience is still the best teacher. I mean, there's so many things to be gained from training programs and methodologies and practices, and especially exchange with other directors. Um, one of the things that I do in collaboration with Pangea World Theater is the National Institute for Directing and Ensemble Creation, which is a peer exchange model program. We don't try to teach one methodology. It's all about people getting in a room and learning from each other. So there's so much value in that. But really, like, to develop your own aesthetic, you just got to explore and find out. And sometimes I find, I really learned this. This is going to sound weird, but having my poetry translated into another language was one of the most like revealing things I've ever experienced, because first of all, there's so many things that are untranslatable, and so you wind up having to have deep conversations about what you actually mean with the translator so that they can figure out what's the equivalent phrasing in Spanish or in Polish. And for example, but the other thing that's interesting about it is, like, when someone else spends a chunk of time looking at a bunch of your work, they start to see like themes and recurrences that I myself didn't even know were there. But then once someone could help me see it, then I'd be like, oh, this is actually part of my aesthetic.